Good evening. I just thought I'd drop a line to anyone who's interested. Nothing major. Just kind of some random thoughts that I've been having. I was ringing the bell about the conventions and the Summer of Chaos, and obviously we didn't see anything with that, as far as in terms of rioting or civil unrest or anything of that nature. However, it occurred to me that, it may, as far as the information leaked, it may have been targeted to people just like me who are, trying to delve deeper into sort of the reality that we live in, or sort of the society that we're a part of, because it just seems to me that the older this country gets, the more difficult it is for just the average citizen to accomplish just a comfortable life. It just seems like, barring the Great Depression, of course, but, you have the Roaring 20s, where it seems as though, the golden age of Hollywood, where it appears that, just average everyday citizens are earning a decent living, Of course, then we have the Great Depression, and then you come out of the Great Depression, and you move into World War II, and after World War II, the war is a boon to the American economy and society, and the average everyday American appears to be enjoying a very comfortable life, where the bills are being paid, and dad can go out and get a job, mom stays home as a homemaker. Obviously it's different today in the sense that dad could stay home and mom could go make the family income, but the idea being that it was a single income for the family, whereas nowadays you've got families that are dual income families with one or two children that are having trouble surviving. Just simply surviving. I talk to people all the time that are, they're working at, an example would be a fast food restaurant, where, mom is working the day shift and dad is working the evening shift, and they've got two kids at home, and they're barely above the poverty line. How ridiculous is that these people who are earning a wage, they're not afraid to work, but they're earning a wage and they're having trouble surviving. I'm having trouble surviving. But I mention all this because it just seems to me that there's got to be a better way. And I'm firmly believing that the control structure is systematically trying to deprive people like me and you, just regular, everyday, average, hardworking folks, of the opportunity to just live comfortably. I don't desire to be super wealthy and super rich, but I'd like to be able to make my car payment when it comes in. I'd like to be able to pay my rent on time. I don't want to have to juggle what's not getting paid in order to pay what gets paid. And it's a story that's repeated throughout this entire country, regardless of race or color or creed or religion or any of that bullshit. And yet, we're on the verge of the racial tensions in this country are so high strung that we are on the verge of virtually exploding. And myself, I believe a lot of it and a lot of the tension is based on economic struggle more than any other factor. Everybody in this country, or average everyday folks, are having trouble paying their bills. And they don't understand where the true cause or purpose or reason for that is. And so they find an outlet to vent their frustrations. And that outlet is that other guy. That outlet is that guy with the towel on his head, or the guy that's got the different color skin than me, or the girl that's got drives a different car than me, or the guy that wears the cross around his neck, or the guy. So, instead of focusing on the true issues, which is, the establishment like Hillary Clinton and the control system in place, the idea that they want more and more and more government. They want people to be dependent on the government. They want people on welfare. They want people to be dependent on the system, because the dependency equals control. And so the more that they make it harder economically, the more people will look to find an outlet for their rage, and it becomes less and less. I watched a video with Trump holding one of his rallies in San Diego or something, and the protesters. Everybody's talking about Trump as this racist, as this, he doesn't know, and he's not this, and he's not that, and but when you really stop to think and you really listen to what he said, he hasn't said anything racist. He didn't say that Arab people who happen to believe in Islam shouldn't be allowed here. He didn't say people from Mexico who are trying to get into this country legally shouldn't be allowed in. He said radical Islamic terrorists should not be allowed in. And Ben Carson, he brought up a great point. He said, if you had 10 people coming over to your house that you didn't know, but you knew for a fact that one of them was a criminal, but you didn't know which one, would you still let all of them in? Or would you try to put something in place to discover which one was the criminal and then just not let that one in? That's really, in essence, what Trump is saying, is radical Islam is infiltrating this country, and Obama and Clinton are letting it happen, encouraging it because of the directives they're receiving from the hidden hand. They're encouraging this. And Trump is basically saying, look, we don't know which ones are the criminals. So until we can figure out which ones are, well, guess what? None of you get in. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Now, in terms of the sort of the summer of chaos information, I think it may have been purposely leaked in order to target people just like me, in the sense that I ran out ringing the bell immediately. Hey, 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 look at this, look at this. You know, almost as if we're looking for something, or I'm looking for something to happen. Now, it could have been a diversionary tactic, because now you get all these people like me, who some say I'm just paranoid. You get some like me that run out and start screaming about what's going on, and then nothing happens. And then we sit back and go, well, wait a second. Am I just am I just paranoid? And then they let their guard down. Now, the establishment want us dependent on the government. They do not want us to be self-sustained. They do not want us to be independent. Because as soon as we are, we no longer depend on the government for everything that's required for our existence. Well, now they lose control. So I think it's more critical at this point that we be aware of things going on. And like I was saying about that Trump rally, is the protesters to Trump were so aggressive that if you even just had a Trump hat, if you were just expressing a likeness to one of the candidates or potential candidates, you were subject to beatings, eggs thrown at you, rocks, bottles, hit with bags. I mean, we're supposed to be in a system that allows for that type of expression without any of those repercussions. But because of Obama and Clinton and the establishment, and because of what they have systematically induced into the psyche of this country, that is the result. If you don't agree with me, I'm going to beat you up. That's the mentality we have now. If you don't agree, you're the enemy. People, we are all humans. We are all fighting the establishment. We are all subject to their control. We have to break free from it. We have to spread the word about what's happening. We have to move away from the establishment. And most certainly, without question, we cannot allow Hillary Clinton to be coronated in November. I appreciate your time, and good evening. Thank you.